Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And today's topic is Doppelgangers in the Lost Mine of Phandelver. Sounds like a pretty simple topic. This is a Dungeon Master guide for the Lost Mine of Phandelver. For anybody who is a player, this is not the video for you. I have hundreds of videos for players. You're welcome to go and check them out. This is for the Dungeon Master. I'm going to be covering how to use your doppelgangers in the Lost Mine of Phandelver. For those of you who are looking for very specific information on each of the two doppelgangers in the adventure, that would be a separate video rather than this video. Okay, so what I'm doing here is the two doppelgangers in the Lost Mine of Phandelver that work for Nesna the Black Spider. We know the basics. They give us the basics in terms of how they work. There's two sections, there's two doppelgangers, but there's often the question that pops up I have from people saying, well, what if I want to use the doppelgangers in a slightly different manner? And of course you certainly can. The first doppelganger I want to just briefly talk about, and that is vyerith. I believe it's pronounced vyerith with the Y being silent. She's disguised as a female drow who came to collect Gundren Rockseeker and the map to Wave Echo Cave from King Groll in Cragmore Castle. That's the first doppelganger, and it spells out pretty much what she's going to do. The next doppelganger is the male doppelganger, that is vhalak, I believe it's vhalak, disguised as a male drow who supervises the cleaning up of a rift in the Wave Echo Cave location. So those are our two doppelgangers, and they spell out all the details in terms of how you do that and how you operate them. So how can you use the doppelgangers in the Lost Mine of Phandelver? Well, first off, you can just run the doppelgangers as written in the adventure. So vyerith would simply disguise herself as Gundren Rockseeker, provided she knows that the players are in that location. Otherwise, she wouldn't have time to do so. Or maybe she is always walking around looking like Gundren Rockseeker in anticipation that somebody might try to rescue him. Certainly a possibility if you wanted to do it that way. Okay, and the other individual that can be disguised, and that is Nundro Rockseeker. So vhalak will disguise himself as Nundro Rockseeker, provided he's had a chance to be warned of the player's characters or gets a chance to escape back to Nesna the Black Spider, and then Nesna the Black Spider will pretend to use Nundro as a bargaining chip. Now, you could use a number of different NPCs that the players have come across that they are familiar with the situation if you really wanted to. But these two sort of make the most sense. And there is the third Rockseeker brother that you could use, provided they haven't found the body. If they've found the body already, it's going to be a bit troublesome. But those are all certainly options. Now, Nesna the Black Spider knows that vyerith and vhalak are doppelgangers. But what happens if we change things up? What if they don't actually know that these doppelgangers are not, in fact, Basically, Nesna doesn't actually have to know that the doppelgangers are doppelgangers. He may in fact think they are drow. That could make the adventure quite a lot more interesting for those of you who really want to put a twist, not just for the players' characters, but also for the main villain. The doppelgangers could also be great spies for a greater threat than Nesna the Black Spider. So maybe your next major villain, when you continue from the Lost Mine of Phandelver into your next adventure, you're going to pick up somebody else, and something like a lich might be useful, or any of the major villains that are part of your next adventure, whichever one you're planning to run. And you don't even have to decide right then and there which one it's going to be. You could also have Zentarum be the main villain. It's not so much Nesna the Black Spider, but this shadowy organisation, if you really wanted to. Doppelgangers might pretend to be loyal to the Black Spider, but have a personal vested interest in the Spellforge. It's of immense value. Nobody actually knows that it's not working properly anymore, and given the right individual that might be able to be put back into proper function again. Who knows? It just comes down to how powerful the individual is who's engaged in repairing the spell forge. So maybe the doppelgangers have a vested interest, their own personal vested interest, in acquiring the spell forge. Or just the wealth of the mine. I mean, there's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of value hidden within the mine, not just the spell forge that they might be more interested in. There are a huge number of NPCs in Phandelver. So vyerith is given enough freedom of movement to take the identity of pretty much any of the Phandelver townsfolk or members and use them as a spy against players' characters. So you can collect more information for Nesna the Black Spider, or maybe just information for the doppelganger themselves. So that's certainly something you could do. Now, one of the key characters the players will keep coming across, or non-player characters, NPCs, is Sildar Hallwinter. So disguising vyerith as Sildar Hallwinter might be a really useful way of collecting information that the players won't necessarily be aware of. And that's really the key, right? You don't want to play your doppelganger as a combat situation. They are there as a spy to collect information, and they have all the tools available to make that possible because they can read thoughts. What you could do, if you've got a group of players that really trust you and you are the sort of dungeon master who can manage this sort of situation, is you could conspire with one of your players, and have them take over the role of the doppelganger, and have the doppelganger replace their character to put a bit of a twist into the story and allow you to infiltrate the party so you can collect even more information. Now, this requires you to find a player who's willing to play into this. Also, too, you'll need to figure out how you're going to repair any damage you do in terms of the player's trust towards that player when you finally make the big reveal. If there's no reveal and they never ever know, then it doesn't matter. But they might start to get a bit suspicious if suddenly everybody seems to know wherever they are, everything they're planning to do, and it seems apparent there is a mole within the party. So just bear in mind you need to have a group of players who are capable of managing a situation like that, and you need to be sort of skilled enough that you can manage it yourself. There are so many different ways you can put a twist into this adventure with the doppelgangers. I can't cover every single thing in one video. The sky's the limit. I would suggest essentially any NPC that they encounter could wind up being removed from play, whether they're killed or captured. Captured might be more fun, and then they can then infiltrate and provide fictitious information to the player's characters, or collect information on the player's characters and pass that on to Nesna the Black Spider or whoever they're working for. Now, when you get to the end of this adventure, things start to develop, right? They're going to finally meet Nesna the Black Spider, or will they be meeting Nesna the Black Spider? That's the big question, right? Nesna the Black Spider is in fact a doppelganger. Why not have Nesna the Black Spider not actually be a drow wizard who is part of this conspiracy to take control of Phandelver? In fact, it was a doppelganger all the time. Now, this could be one of the existing doppelgangers, or probably more sensible to make it a third doppelganger if you really want to make things a little bit more interesting. That way the other two doppelgangers can fulfill their role as listed in the adventure. Now, remember, the doppelgangers might be working together. There might be a small group of them. Often doppelgangers will work alone, but they can work in a small group, or they might be working for a secret society trying to take over the world or take over this part of the world. It's really up to you. Now, you can have Nesna the Black Spider die. Maybe the doppelgangers take over Nesna the Black Spider. It's happened like a couple of weeks ago or a few days ago. It's really up to you. They killed Nesna the Black Spider, and his body is somewhere within Wave Echo Cave. Or maybe Nesna the Black Spider is in fact just a puppet, and the true Black Spider is actually one of the doppelgangers. This third doppelganger, as I said. You could also, when they encounter Nesna the Black Spider, have two Nesna the Black Spiders. In other words, one is the real drow wizard, and another is a doppelganger, and if the two of them flee in different directions, the players have now got to make the hard choice about which is the real Nesna, the black spider, which is the main villain. And then you are splitting the party, and then you can allow that situation to drag them into a location where you've set up traps. Whether those are traps that are set by Nesna, the black spider, or the doppelgangers, it doesn't matter. It's really up to you. So a lot of different ways you can play with the doppelgangers and the Lost Mine of Phandelver. I really hope this has given you a few ideas for those of you who are wanting to sort of go outside of the realm of the adventure Lost Mine of Phandelver. Now, if it has been helpful to you, I would like to point out I have a huge series of videos for Dungeon Masters on running the Lost Mine of Phandelver that cover many of the NPCs and situations that you might come across within this adventure. And you're welcome to go and check that out. Big, huge playlist. I think it's in the 50 plus range. Now, I also have hundreds of videos for players and Dungeon Masters, which you're welcome to go and check out as well. If you found this video helpful, that's fantastic. If you want to support the channel so I keep doing more videos like this, then check out my Patreon page where you get access to the unlisted live streams. You also get access to exclusive content, and you get priority on any of the videos that I make. I also have affiliate links to the book depository and Amazon down in the description. I have a merchandise shelf underneath all of my videos. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and hit the bell button to be notified when I go live and when I publish new videos. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.